Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing my first round game from the first Great Lakes Go tournament. Yes, I had a Go tournament, I guess 3 weeks ago at this point, something like that, and I'm already had another one. Now, this is the first installment of the tournament because if you've watched my tournament reviews in the past, if you remember the Cleveland Go Club ratings tournament, think of this as a spiritual successor to that. Everything is the same, number of rounds, prizes, time settings, rules, everything. We just happen to be in a different venue. So since we changed venues, we figured let's change the name as well. So everything else is the same. With that being said, though, just like that tournament, I also ran this event, as in I did the brackets and I helped set up. Thankfully, though, because it's closer to where I live, I could sleep in a little bit more compared to the Cleveland Go Club ratings tournament. So that was a plus. But the venue was really nice. I actually liked it more than where the Cleveland Go Club's ratings tournament was, as that one's more in a public space, whereas this one, where it's still in a public space, it's in a lot more quiet public space, at least, as we met in a bookstore as opposed to a kind of open mall area. But yeah, my first round opponent is Ross Ritchey, 2Q, and Ross goes to my local club, and he is like the fastest improving player that we currently have. I think he does a lot of AI training and plays a lot of games, I'm pretty sure, and uses AIs to help review. And in fact, I believe it was the last time I went to the club, we played 6 stones, and he beat me. Now, this is tournament, and that was casual, but still, a win is a win, so I was very determined to try to get my win back. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Time settings for these games were 30 minutes main time with 3 30-second overtime, and AGA rules as well. So we get this, and this Joseki that's attached on top, I very rarely see nowadays. Ross is like the one person that I play semi-regularly that likes this. And it's an opening. Again, I prefer not to do this. Now, again, I'm not playing many 6 stone games as black, but even if I was, or even in my even games, I don't like this because you force a weakness here, potential weakness. Let me put on coordinates at a Q6, potential weakness at least, and you're also touching the stone that you might want to attack. But again, you could also say you're making white heavier, so now white is more invested in these stones. So it really depends on what you like. And again, in the opening, as long as you are playing moves that are considered normal, you're on the right track. So this is totally fine. And so because there's a weakness here at Q6, I can't use it directly because I have a weakness at N3 myself. So I can't, whether I do it this way, push and cut like this, or I poke at it, right? And if black has to fix, then I can keep attacking, something like this, right? Maybe even here. I want to use this weakness somehow. So my next moves are trying to almost goad black into fixing my weakness or playing towards these stones when I actually want black to do that so that I can attack black in return. So that's why I actually approach from this side, because my plan is when black plays here, I'm going to attach. And this was my plan. Now black in a move basically goes against my plan, but that should be expected. Where I'm trying to make a big area here to try to get black to come in to try to mess it up, right? Try to get rid of it. And in the process, maybe I can fix my weakness here. If I just do this, and if, let's say, black fixes, then I didn't really gain much on the bottom, besides helping my group, but I didn't really gain much on the bottom for black's move on the right side. So I'm trying to force black to play moves that help me, which is why I attached. Now, I was expecting black to just stand up, and my idea is to attach and then cut. The point of this exchange is if we get a sequence like this, and let's say white fixes, this G3 for E4 exchange, you can see is pretty good for white, right? Black didn't really gain much, especially if you consider this kind of sequence works anyways, right? Something like this. You can see it's like I exchanged this move for this move, right? If black hanes though, then again, then it's starting to create, I'm starting to create some, I'm trying to create a bottom that I'm trying to get black to play into. So let's say if we do something like this, I would actually go elsewhere. I would still actually do this push and cut, to be fair, or the attach and cut, I mean. But let's say I even just do something calmer like this. If black then comes into the bottom, then I can play in a way that fixes my group on the bottom. Even though I am giving up some stones here, my plan is to kind of make it back on the right side. But black does none of that, and black ignores. And black goes here. And I think this is playable, but generally you do, when your opponent responds, you want to just answer. Again, I think this is possible. But yeah, since black responded to my attachment within my attachment, it actually gives me a bit of a dilemma. Do I answer on the bottom, which would be very nice, or do I answer black on the left? And so I ended up answering black on the left, because again, I don't actually care about the bottom. So I do this one, and black plays 3-3, sure, and then I fix. So the point of this fix, and this is a general rule of thumb, is whenever you have this sort of shape, and it comes up a lot with this attach and extend joseki here. And let's say I do play on the bottom somewhere, something like this. The general rule of thumb is when black turns, if I cannot keep these stones separated very cleanly, it's too painful. It's too painful. So for example, if I extend and do this, you can see black can even double hane and I get sealed in and black's able to connect. When black's able to connect, black doesn't have to worry about either side and black's influence will be facing the rest of the board and my stones are isolated. And again, I can't really hane because I have my own weakness here. So even if I run out, yeah, I'm gonna die first before anything good happens to white here. So because of this turn, and I don't have a really good response to it in terms of keeping black separated, that's why I fixed. Yeah, just fix. And now when black turns, I can just cover or hane, and black will not be able to get a clean wall or connect up these stones. So yeah, that's the idea with this one. I didn't want to just push up either, because again, if I have to respond on the bottom at some point, then black can actually go and attack these stones here. So I do want to make some sort of base, and as long as I'm keeping black separated, or black can't connect in one move, I don't need to be so direct with this move. So that's why I went there. And black hanes and plays here. Which again, not that this is a bad move, and in fact, I remember maybe like 3 or 4 games ago that we played, black and I remember him playing this move towards this, because again, he likes the attach and extend joseki, so the shape comes up a lot, and I'm being like, actually no, this is better. So because I taught black that, I have to suffer in my games with him now. So that's where teaching can, while it's obviously helpful to them, it can bite me in a competitive setting. But yeah, so this is the way to attack, and yeah, so I stand up, and then black covers. But black gave me what I wanted, kind of. Well, I haven't necessarily fixed N3, now I can hane here. Now, black should just jump here. This is the proper shape. Even though I can bump like this, black has no weaknesses, and I have 2 still. Yeah, and if I try to make more weaknesses, black just is more solid. So this is better. But when black goes here, now when I hane, the stone at P6 actually is pretty heavy now. It only has 2 liberties, whereas this one has all 4. Because when black goes here, and I descend, you can see it's like I went here, or black goes here. When I attach, black bumped their head, head of 2 stones. But again, this isn't like catastrophic for black, because black can cut, and then play here. And then we get Atari down. Black extends. I have to connect because there's a ladder here. This would be game over. So I have to connect here. Black now has enough time to extend their liberties. So he pushes and then covers here. But even before this, like even at this point, Black has made a slight mistake. An ever so slight mistake. What could be the mistake, though? The mistake is Black can just directly cut here. Because this stone here, White can never give the stone up. Because if White ever gives that stone up, these two stones get isolated and very weak, and Black is now connected back out. But notice, there's a cut here, but there's also a cut here. So there's two cuts that Black can use. So when Black cuts here and then cuts here, yes, this directly works, but now Black can never cut at 07. So instead, Black should play here. Black should play here. Because now later, Black is still threatening the same sequence. Like if I Atari down, I can't Atari down, or I can't follow, I mean, because Black can cut. And again, White can't give up this stone, right? Even though in this case, Black would be giving up two stones, it's still way too painful. So I still need to connect. Black can still push like in the game. Because again, if White wants to fix, then okay, I cover and I take the whole bottom. So everything still works like in the game. But now we haven't made this exchange. Now potentially Black could cut this way instead and maybe even fight from this direction. So in this case, you can see N3 is the cut that always works because there's no other options. While it looks like there are two cuts here at 07 and N6, you only actually get one because when you take one, White obviously fills the other one. So because this one is the one that we still don't know which one's better, Black should start with this cut. And again, if White ever fixes even like this, you get more on the bottom, and this cut still works. Instead of cutting now, later we could even peep if we don't want to cut. Although, again, even in this case, we have the ladder, so we could just cut. So, yeah, this was, I think Black saw that this worked and then went for it, which, again, this is not horrible. But since Black's on the cusp of one Dawn and Dawnhood, if you will, these are the kind of exchanges that Black needs to take into better consideration. So also right here. So right now, Black's winning the liberty race. It is 4 liberties to 3 liberties, right? If you look at these stones here. So Black could even run this out somehow, right? And keep the fight going. Now what this means though is White can cover here. And if White covers, then okay, you need to answer. But this is what Black does. Black pushes, right? And notice pushing forces White to connect here. Right? Before, like if you do something else, later there's Aji of playing at J3. But by pushing, you force White to connect. J3 technically still works, but now obviously White can connect if White wants to. But okay, Black extended the liberties even more. So now it means when White covers, White or Black doesn't even need to answer because Black has extended to 4 liberties as opposed to here, right? Black has 3. Okay, Black does need to answer. But what Black does is instead of leaving it here when Black is ahead, Black extends to prevent the block from being sente and then answers. So Black basically made 2 extra exchanges that were unnecessary. And then even beyond that, played P2, which is a slight mistake. Now you might be asking, why is this a mistake? Now, obviously, Black doesn't need to play there at all. But if you wanted to fix here, P4 is much better. Now, why is it much better? Take a look at this shape here. What do you notice about this shape? What do you notice about this shape? Because in the game, I Hane. And this Hane is very annoying for Black. Very, very annoying for Black. Because it's not a double Atari necessarily, because let's say it was a double Atari, right? Well, if this is a double Atari, which stones are valuable here? These 2 stones or these 2 stones? Well, obviously the left 2 stones are more valuable. right? So white can take those too, but these are cutting stones, and black saves, or still captures these stones, these white stones. Instead, though, it's a connect and die. White can just Atari this way, and there's no way for black to now save these stones. And if these stones die, yeah, they're cutting stones, white's connected. This is very good for white. Very, very good for white. So black needs to answer. So black went here, which makes sense. Black needs to answer. But notice if black had fixed by going here, when white hanes, now there's no threat of that. So these are the kind of things you need to consider when, like, okay, I have to fix. So what's the difference, right? These are the kind of minor, and I'll call them minor, but again, as you get stronger, these little idiosyncrasies do add up. Yeah, this is the better way to fix. So what that comes down to is, I think this push is okay, but black should either just descend like this, or, yeah, I think just descend like this is probably the best. You could also do this one. Either or is the best way to do it. So yeah, so black made unnecessary exchanges and then even let me get this hane here. And then I cover, which again, black fixed my shape. And this is helping me, or help my bottom group. So now this stone at N5 is less of a threat. And then black does something strange. Black jumps here. On the surface, it doesn't look too bad, but notice black played a one-space jump that is immediately peeped. And in general, you don't want to do that. So if you ever are about to make this shape and you're peeping yourself, just back off a line like this. I think there's no problems if black just plays here, if that's what black wants to do. The problem with this, though, is black is playing towards the center. And when black plays towards the center, not only is black leaving a weakness in the center, but I just slide on the side. And now black needs to worry about these two stones if I ever push and cut. So instead, black should actually force me into the center. Black should go this way, like this. Force me into the center. Remember, center does not have points, and look how black can build the left side here. So, yeah, I think black went here to help the bottom side group. But, like, even at this point, if black just descends at F2, black is alive 100% in the lower left. So, yeah, I would be a little more patient than this, because this doesn't even connect. And yeah, again, and even this one, white isn't alive either. So, because you take out my base. So white goes here. So, okay. So, at this point, black tenukis, which I think is fine. Black plays somewhere in the top half, right? Let's just say black plays somewhere in the top half of the board. Where would you play? Or at least where would you play? Again, you might not get the exact move, but where would you play if you're looking at this board? If you said somewhere up top or in this right space here, you are playing in the right area, I should say. And the reason is, one, obviously the top side is the biggest side. That makes sense. So why is this right area here bigger than this right area? Well, it has to do with white's wall here at 07. White can build the right side very easily and isolate this Q10 stone. So black should play a move maybe like this, maybe like this, something like that. Or again, just prioritize the top. But black goes here. The problem with this move is black's not even surrounding points here. So there's no real point gain on the left side here. I guess technically it somewhat helps the D10 stone if white ever pushes and cuts. But once white goes to B10, the stone at D10, black stone, has a lot less value. So I wouldn't even be thinking about saving that stone. So when black goes here, white plays R14. And now you can start to see Q10 starts to get a little bit isolated. So yeah, black has to be careful. Black has to be careful. Now again, in this case, if you look at this board, black should, this is actually one of the cases where black should just give white the right side. Notice the right side is where all of white's thickness is facing. Now technically there's a weakness at N6, right? So it's not fully thickness, but I'd be heavily considering giving white the right side. And just taking the top. So if black does their favorite joseki, like this, give white the right side, you take the top, and yeah, you can get more on the top. But black plays inside like this. And as soon as black went here, this was exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Because now I have something to attack with my thickness. And the thing you have to realize is, let's say black even lives on the right side, right? Like, let's say black's alive. You might be thinking, okay, I took out all of white's points on the right side, right? And you are correct. White now has no point on the right side, but you have to pay for it elsewhere. So for example, like if you play a move like this, obviously it's very clear that you're building the top side, right? Whereas when something like this happens in the game, like white can now switch directions and rip out your top, right? Something like this. If you have to live, right? Like let's say white does something like this. Let's say this kind of move is sente, right? You have to live. Well, now white can get into your corner. So you've lost the corner because you had to live on the right side. Again, let's say you give white this side. Right, we'll play a very simple joseki, right? Let's say something like this. Well, there's a cut here. If there's a cut here, technically white can do the squeeze like this. I would not recommend this though, because there's really bad aji here. So if this move is threatening to capture the 4, if white has to go this way, all of a sudden white has a lot of problems on the bottom, right? So if we assume white is, let's say, calm and just does this, well, then you can capture the right side or capture the stone here and secure the corner. And even, let's say you can't do that. Let's say you can play this one. This move is threatening to now cut for sure. And also, white can't get into your side or your corner. So white can't play moves like this as long as there's a cut there. So your corner is more secure. But the moment black peeps here, all of that disappears. Now the corner you can't secure, and you can't cut off that stone at R6. So black jumps out, which I think is okay. Also, let me talk about this move as well. So this is the normal move you'd want to play. But while the aji doesn't work exactly, like if black did this immediately, it would probably be too early. But I didn't want to have to fix it later. So I played back one. So now this aji is less potent compared to this one. Whereas you can see in this case I have 2 cuts. Whereas in this case I only have 1 cut. It's the same principle as this one space jump here. Where at this point you have 2 cuts now. But if you back off a line, you only have 1 cut. So by backing off a line, you are a little bit safer. So black plays there. So then I play here again. I talk about it all the time, but if you know your shapes, these kind of moves become playable. Because I can connect at S8, or because of this large knights, I can play at S12. So I can take out black's base. So now black has no eyes. Now here, let's say you're black right now. Which side do you think is weaker? Because right now white is threatening to connect either way. So do you think these 3 stones here are weaker, or these, I guess, 6 stones here are weaker? Now, technically, you could say because of this N6 stone, these 6 stones are weaker, but these 3 stones here I think are much weaker. They're not connected. They have peeps you can look at. They don't have a base. So I would be thinking of just letting white, or even let's say white does that way, letting white connect this way. Because now you can now look to attack this right side group, or even let's say you peep and then descend here, or even do this, right? Basically, you can see these 3, now 4 stones are very weak. Very, very weak. What happens is black descends here, though, and allows these stones to make a base. So now these 5 stones are pretty safe. Now this move works because If black hanes, we're not going to cut, which is the usual technique here. Instead, though, we can make this tiger's mouth. Now threatening to either poke through or cut. So if black blocks, we can cut here, and we're actually already connected. Or if black connects, then we break through, and now black is separated. So that's why this move works. Now black has a very good move planned, is this one. And this move is very good because if I just pull back, let's say something like this, well, now black can hane, because now black has made, the board has changed a little bit. Now black has made this exchange. So black has done something that I talk about a lot in my videos, where you imagine this is on the board, or even let's say this is on the board, and then you ask yourself, oh, what exchange might help me in this scenario? So black was saying, oh, maybe if I have a stone here, maybe if I have a stone here, maybe if I have a stone here. So then, without doing those exchanges, black has done that. So black plays here first. Obviously, if I ignore, then black gets to separate the stone. But if I answer, let's say in a not great way, then black would be able to get something here, right? Now the board has changed. Now something like this just works for black. I'm just separated. This is a very nice move by black. So I bump. This move is necessary because if I don't do that one, you can see this actually would end up working for me because I've taken away a liberty there. So I had to go here. But in this case, now black should connect here. This is threatening to connect, of course. Let's say I just bump here. Then black can clamp. And basically, once black gets this clamp, the black shape is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, yeah. Black should connect and then clamp. But black pulls back, which is okay. I still need to answer. And then black cuts, which again, black should just clamp. But by cutting, again, now that my right side is basically alive, I can just extend. And now if you really want to pull the stone out, your right side is much weaker than my two stones in the center. And you still have to do something with O13. And so the other thing about playing here is if black wanted to save this, black really needs to find the timing to play N6. If black can't find the timing to pull the stone out, then playing S8, you can see it doesn't get black any eyes, and you're just separating like two alive groups basically. So yeah, black really needed to find the timing to try to activate this or even get your use out of it. Like even black just going here, saying, oh, I'm going to pull this stone out if you don't do anything. But you'll notice black fails to find the chance to. So black plays here, which again is a little awkward. I just stand up. Black extends. I just save. And black jumps, which is also Tengen. So extra points there. It's a weird spot. It's a weird spot to play. I'm not sure why not just jump here, but plays Tengen. But then notice I peep, which again right here black has to evaluate what is the value of these two stones. Because black saves them, but again, they don't give black two eyes. And again, if black just can't use N6, then there's really no value in playing here. In some cases, it would be better if you can to run these stones out. And if I'm forced to cut these stones off, then you can at least attack the bottom side still. Or maybe even go down. But instead, black just plays here. Black saves them. If I can click next, there. Please click next, thank you. Then I can play here. So now I'm starting to surround this while still attacking black shape. The black fixes, which again, this is okay. Whenever you play these kind of diagonal shapes like this, there's generally better moves to play. So for example, even going here would be slightly better. Potentially slightly better, I should say. Like if white pulls back, you can do this one. Right? You can make good shape this way. If white goes up, you can make good shape this way. Whereas as soon as you do this one, there's not really a chance to make a good shape anymore. Maybe you can do this one, right? You really want to think of other options besides. Notice you're not touching the white stone, so you're not making it any weaker. And your stones, it'd be like black did this, and when I went here, black did that. Right? There's probably a better way to play there. Peep, play there. And then I got to surround. So again, okay, black is taking out, black took out a majority of my side, right? But how many points did black make with that group? So far, none. And now black is paying for it, again, not only in this lower right corner, but also the upper right corner. So black goes here. Generally, you want to try to attach here, like always, pretty much. Because if you notice, if we do the same sequence like this, there is a weakness now at L16. Of course, there's a cut. But now, this kind of peep doesn't threaten to connect to white stones on the outside. But by going here, notice now there's not a cut to worry about. And now, this peep threatens to connect underneath now. So that's why this attachment's very important. And I am kind of curious what black was afraid of, because in a lot of cases, nothing here will ever amount to anything for white. Black's shape here is much stronger than white's stones here. So, yeah. But black went down, because black sealed in. And then I pushed through. And no matter what happens next, always cap those stones. I know cap is already a term and go, but always you want to close white in here. You want to put the cap on the toothpaste. And it's because even though you have cuts here, right? Again, it's a case of if white plays in one, you can fix the other, right? And notice white is also disconnected. White is also disconnected. So you're disconnected, but white's also disconnected. When you stand up like this and allow white to push through, you are still disconnected and white is now connected. So you should always just cover here. And yeah, you should always just cover here. Again, even if let's say white can cut this way and you descend, like white is still disconnected. So yeah, this is much better for black compared to this one. So always try to cover here, even if it leaves cuts. Black pokes here. Now this would be a really nice move if I have to play this one. Because if I have to play this one, black extends, this still threatens to pull this stone out. But thankfully I can play here. And this is where all my peep here in conjunction with my M9 stone are working very well together. Because if black covers, I can just cut. And black can never save these 3 stones actually. No matter what black tries to do. Obviously if you push here, you're down to 2. If you do something like this, and even if you try to run out, I can always push and cut. Always. Because you can't Atari this way, because this becomes an Atari, and you can't Atari this way because you still need to connect. You're out of liberties. So black has to pull back, but then I can connect. So black's made a little bit of weakness, but it didn't really hurt me that much. Then black hanes. But black missed a very big move. I can clamp. And this clamp is very painful for black. Even if black's going to live, this move's very painful. And I've been eyeing this group for a long time. And notice I waited until black was separated in the center. So black goes down. Again, you kind of have to go down and whatever happens, happens. Because you can't just like go here and let me Atari. Because, yeah, you're going to run out of eye space there. So black has to go down. I go up. And then black connects. Yeah, again, because of what's happened, if black connects here, this move is threatening to connect in one move, so white has to connect, or black has to connect. And now, no matter what happens, black's going to get separated. Like if black goes here, black's going to lose the stones there. Because black doesn't have enough liberties. Even though there's a lot of Ataris you can do, black's going to lose those 5 stones, no matter what. So, yeah, that's why black decided to just give up the 2 stones, but I can push down and cut. Black connects. This is threatening to capture the 4. But now is a very important, again, order of moves. Order of moves is so important in Go. Let's say I just fix, and I fix by going here. So now these 2 stones are captured and these 4 stones, now 5 stones are saved. Well then let's say black lives, right? Black's alive. Okay. What if I Atari here? Would you answer this as black? Well, will you? I guess will you and should you are 2 different answers. Black should not answer this because white's already captured these 2 stones. White's already spent a move at f5. So before I play f5, I have to play here. Because let's say black still lives. Well, now I haven't wasted a turn by going here. Instead, I could either just take or just go elsewhere. So I Atari first, then when black connects, okay, now I know black cares about the not just 2 stones, but 4 stones. Now I can leave it. So by making this exchange, you might think I'm wasting a co-threat, but actually I'm making black heavier. Now black cares about 4 stones as opposed to just 2 stones. So this is a very important order of moves. If you go here now, these stones at F2 have lost value. Their only value is that they're cutting stones. So while they're cutting stones, or while I haven't fixed the cut, you need to Atari now. Then I fix, black plays there, and then plays there, and then I can go elsewhere. And again, another very important order of moves, and this is actually one that my opponent asked me about, because this was the first round, and again, with how the scheduling works out, after the first round, there's a lunch break. So we actually had some time to look at the game. He was, maybe not confused is the right word, but he was curious why I cut first and then extended. He thought I would just extend. Well, again, it has to do with order of moves. By cutting first, I am seeing if black really cares about this stone at L12. Because let's say black connects, then okay, I can extend. But how else could black play? Black could maybe Atari from the outside and then play something like this, right? This is another way black could play. And then I could just leave it. But if I go here now, I haven't asked black if black cares about L12. So now let's say black goes elsewhere, and then we do the same thing. Well, now my stone at L14 is wasted, right? It's like I did this first, and then I have Sente now. I went here, which is clearly a very slow, very inefficient move. So that's why you cut first to see how your opponent's going to play. And again, black could go here, black could go here. And depending on how black plays, since black went here, I extend it. So again, it's very similar to why I G2 first before fixing. Is the board can change, so get your opponent's response first, see how they're going to play before you decide how you're going to play. Now here, this is, again, while this move does surround the stone, right? It captures it. You really never want to allow your opponent to get this Atari if possible. Now again, this move doesn't surround the stone, so later there is Aji here. It just feels, in that case then, I would rather just extend then if I'm black. If I have to play this Atari here, yeah, it's too painful. So yes, it's not a huge deal, but yeah, again, you can also see black shape here when black connected with the diagonal I was talking about earlier, and then Hane. Look at black shape here, right? Yeah, it's just very inefficient. So then black attached. So again, I found it funny that in all 3 corners, or in 3 out of the 4 corners, black played this attached Joseki, which again is fine in a lot of cases. But the one black really should have done it with on the right side, give white the right side, black didn't do it on. And what's funny as well is, if you notice, in every corner I did a different Joseki, right? In the first one I did Hane and extend. In the bottom one I did Hane and diagonal. And in this one I simply did the E17. Now I don't know if he said it in jest or not, but my opponent actually said, "Oh, that's the variation I like the least." So again, I don't know if he actually gave me correct information or not, but I guess this is the one I'm going to play. Because the reason why I kept doing a different one is because I'm actually trying to fish for, does he know this sequence? Does he know this sequence? Does he know this one, right? I'm trying to play something different, try to get him out of his comfort zone. So again, I don't know if he actually meant like, oh, this is the one I didn't like, but yeah, that's why I did this one. And then extend, then Hane. And again, I think here you're supposed to play here. Now here's something very interesting. Let's say black goes to C18 and I have to fix. Black has given me the top, right? So what that means is, or the top, correct? What that means is now moves like N18 are threatening to take away my points. So moves like N18 become Sente when you've given me the top. But when black takes the top, and again, I'll get into the specifics of this in a second, but notice when black takes the top and I live in the corner, right? Moves like this, now, let's say I do something else, moves like this now aren't Sente because I don't have any points up top. So by taking the top, black in a strange world almost makes black's group weaker. because black really wants to get N18 because there is a peep at P17 that's very potent. But again, oh, now white's invested up top. I kind of need to answer this now. But if you take the top, like in this variation, now I don't care if you play up top because there's no points there anyways. So in a strange world, black actually kind of wants to give me the top so black can play N18. Which again, if black doesn't, P18 is very, very frustrating. Because I get this Hane, and now you're going to start bleeding points again, and now you actually have to worry about your life and death as well. So, yeah, I think black should just Hane, and when I fix... And again, also C18 takes the corner, which is very big. But yeah, I would do this one as black. Black cuts, I Hane. And then black Ataris and connects. And again, I think this is definitely not good because it automatically makes this cut work. Because if black extends and I go down... Black's going to get captured, so black has to descend. But then I can Hane here, and you can't save these 3 stones. But even if you just extend, and we do the same exact thing, I can't capture these 3 stones now. Black can just net. So it makes my corner a lot weaker if you just play here. Yeah, so even though I can extend up, like I do have to worry about my life and death here. So... yeah, I think black should just extend. So Ataring helped me. And then even after this, because in the game black plays here. Again, I think black needs to jump because this means black can still play at B17. So I have to take, but then black can fix in the center. You'll notice when black plays here, black fixed my problem in the corner, but black still has a problem at D15. But also, remember that Atari I was talking about? Yeah, there's still a problem there as well. So, yeah, I think black should cover here, and when white cuts, because this is the problem, black Atari's here, there's not an immediate danger, like white's not going to pull the stone out immediately, because black's stronger, but again, there is going to be problems when white plays on the right side, or the left side, I mean. So white can still use that Aji, but at least all the black stones are staying connected. When black plays here, which again, this looks like a normal shape point, I can Atari here. And this Atari is so painful because if you answer, I can simply turn and you are cut off. Because if you try to save, or if you try to cut, I mean, I can always cut here and capture this stone. So black realizes this and then goes here. But when I take, this is still threatening to save that stone. Or the cutting stones, I mean. And again, here, black needs to just back off here. Because in the game, what happens is black Hanes. But when I cut, black realized, oh, I can't even save here. Because if I save this cutting stone, once again, white saves the cutting stones as well. So black had to pull back anyways and force me to take this stone. Whereas if you just go here, it's like white went here and you would cut here and force me to connect. Which you can see is not a good exchange. Like in this case, you could even just extend. Now white will probably go this way, but even going that way probably gives black more leeway to live, whether you do that one or this one. So yeah, it's not super clear for black, but you don't want to force white to capture here, basically. Black peeps, covers, plays there, black plays there, and so now this whole white right group does not have two eyes. So I attach at the shape point. I probably could have asked first going here. Yeah, no reason not to, I don't think, but because like black has to answer and I can still attack there. But like black can connect, I guess. So yeah, white goes there. So I guess I have to be pretty confident I can kill. Black covers, I Hane. Play there. Yep, not cut was a little strange, but okay. I obviously, it's important to note, black's also running a little low on time. So that is an important factor. Black peeps, plays here. And this is the final kind of key moment in the game, is I can play here. And the idea with this move is if I simply go here and black covers, black's starting to make an eye there and an eye here. And yeah, I have to be somewhat careful. But I can play here first, with the idea being you can't connect yet because I can cut you first. But if you push, and let's say you Atari this way, same thing. You have two problems. If you connect, I'm not going to cut because then we have kind of these dueling semi-Is where I'm not alive on the bottom or the right side and neither are you. So this would be very complicated, but I have time to connect here because you still need to connect here at a J9. But when you Atari this way and you try to separate, because you're so close to my stones, you actually can't get enough liberties. So this is what happens in the game. And after this, black's made an eye, but somehow, magically, black's unable to make an eye elsewhere. And so the rest of black's moves is black trying to make 2 eyes, but just know it's kind of impossible. And without extending this review any longer than it needs to be, black tries. Like even here, I could just Atari, but I knew when black made this exchange that it created a cut here, and I don't think black realized that because again, black is low on time. So I can play all this, cut, and when black goes here, I took. The final thing is I have to take here. If I go elsewhere, this move threatens to make an eye. Again, even if I take out the eye, black captures here. At this point, even if I have to take, because I've taken out the whole corner here, like black would live and I would just do something else. But why do that when I can just kill the entire center as well? So again, notice that group that should have, and this is not a hindsight's 2020 kind of scenario where like, oh, you're only saying that because black died. No, black really should not have played on the right side, even though it took out all of white's points. Notice white was able to profit up top. White was able to profit in the lower right, and even at the end of the game, black ended up perishing there. So, yeah, that was my first round game. I got my revenge from the club game, and I'm feeling pretty good about this event. Now, this event got a lot of heavy hitters from Ohio, so look forward to some no handicap games in the next rounds that are very exciting. Very exciting. So look forward to that. If you have any questions about this game, please let me know in the comments section below. And I'll see you all in the next video.